welcome back to my channel, Rue's Life. So I have been tagged by the lovely Jazz from Alternative Smallholding in this 2019 Year in Review challenge. So massive thank you to Jazz, lovely surprise. I really enjoy watching your videos and it was a lovely surprise. I watched all the way through to the end, I really enjoyed it, and then you tagged me, so that was a lovely surprise, thank you. And it's just great to be involved in something like this. So I'll put a link to Jazz's channel, Alternative Smallholding, in the description below, and any other channel that I mention in this video. So thank you, Jazz. So there's 6 questions, so let's get started with number 1. So number 1 is what you enjoyed most in 2019. So for me, a little bit of history. We've lived on the farm now. We moved here about 2.5 years ago, and we've had to pretty much start from scratch here. So although I've grown before, I had a small holding years ago. I had an allotment for a couple of years. We did grow at the last cottage. We had a really nice plot at the bottom of the garden. When we came here, there was no growing space at all. You know, lots of potential, but nothing at all. So for me, we put up the polytunnel. We've had that. I've done 2 seasons with the polytunnel now. We started in 2018 and I grew, but last year I really got into a rhythm with the polytunnel and I just love it. So the best thing for me about 2019 was utilising the polytunnel, creating more space outside as well, and growing fresh vegetables all year round, and then learning to store, which I'm getting better at, so that we can eat homegrown veggies all year round. So that was definitely the best thing for me. Number 2 is best crop of the year. So I had to have a little think about this, because I have definitely had things that have been really successful over other years, and obviously some failures, but rather than it being successful, just being my best crop. So obviously my parsnips were a success in that it's the first year I've grown such beautiful parsnip-shaped parsnips and not had those horrible, you know, limbs and things coming out all over the show. But by far my best crop this year were my onions. Just the biggest, fattest, shiniest, most delicious onions, which have stored really well, and we're still eating them, and I've actually given lots away as well. So onions, absolutely hands down, best crop of 2019. Number 3, biggest challenge of the year. I don't even have to think very hard about that. The biggest challenge for me has been dealing with pests. So slugs were kind of mildly annoying, but I dealt with them and I have a plan going forward. I'm definitely going down the beer trap avenue. The biggest pest problem we've had, and you've probably heard me talk about it, those of you that follow me, multiple times, were the mice. They really just, definitely because of the polytunnel, I don't know if it's because we have the membrane layer at the bottom, which is, you know, came with the polytunnel, but we don't just have earth on the floor, we've got the semi-permeable membrane, so the moisture can go through, but the weeds can't come up, and it's a really thick one. It's a really decent flooring, and it's great because I can sweep it, keep it clean. But I suspect, because of the warmth, if there are mice underneath there making little nests, it's just a lovely haven for them. And they were a massive challenge. Every time I thought I'd got on top of them, they were back again. So, you know, 1 or 2 scuttling about is one thing, but we've clearly had an awful lot of mice, to the point that they were actually spoiling it for me for a while, because every morning I'd think, oh, you know, what am I going to find destroyed now? But fingers crossed, we have got on top of that, and going forwards I'm going to be able to deal with that. But definitely my biggest challenge was getting on top of that mouse issue. They destroyed quite a few crops, if I'm honest. I lost a lot of seedlings. I lost things part way through, but my biggest disappointment was losing all those squash. So moving on more positively, number 4, is it positive? The worst crop. My worst crop was my squash. Now, it was because of the mice, but I didn't eat a single squash. I lost the lot to mice, and they were eating them from the inside out, and I just couldn't stop them. I think in hindsight, knowing what I now know, having not grown squash before, Probably won't grow them in the polytunnel again, even though I said that's what I was going to do because of the slug problem outside. But as I say, I think I'm going to deal with that. And I think that part of the problem was I was making it so easy for the mice. I didn't realise till it was quite late on that they were actually eating the squash from the inside out, so I wasn't aware of the damage and how much food essentially I was providing. So yeah, I think lesson learned is what I should have done is just, as soon as I realised what was going on, I should have just pulled them all up and got rid of them, because we didn't get to eat a single one, and I was just encouraging more and more mice. So absolute failure with the squash. Although they looked to be growing really well, they looked amazing, these beautiful round orange luscious looking squash, but yeah, we lost a lot to the mice, so big failure there. But lesson learned, and going forward I will be growing them outside and see what happens. Number 5, what new skill did you learn? So for me, although this is a little bit off-piste, it's been vlogging. I've learnt, I used to love watching other YouTube channels, and over the last sort of 12-18 months, really have enjoyed watching the gardening channels. I watch other channels as well, but predominantly I watch the gardening channels, a few lifestyle ones and other bits and pieces. And it was actually, as was Guru Morfinder, Tony from Little Farmer's Garden, who did a video. If you check his videos out, you'll find it, who basically showed us, me, how actually it's not that difficult to take some footage and edit it. And he, thank you so much if you happen to be watching, Tony. That video was really great because I was at that point where I was thinking I'd quite like to do it, and that just gave me that nudge that I needed. So that's been not technically garden related, but sort of related to this challenge, if you like. So I started this channel in March, I think. And to be fair, one of the other things I've learned is having followed other YouTubers. So for any of you that watch and don't vlog yourself, I had absolutely no idea that filming is one thing, but the editing and uploading, that's the bit that takes the time, and there's quite an art to it. I've enjoyed the learning, and I've got lots more to learn, but hats off to all of you that put out, some of you put out so much content and so beautifully edited, and it does take you know, quite a number of hours, you know, just even for a 10-15 minute little clip, it can be a number of hours putting that together between the filming and the editing and then the uploading. But I've really enjoyed starting and growing my channel and learning how to vlog. It's been fantastic, and I really appreciate all the support, all the comments and the likes and people that watch. It's great, so thank you. Okay, so where are we up to? Number 6, last one, number 6, plans for 2020. So this might sound a bit crazy, but bear with me. So my plan really is to only grow the food which we like to eat, and that might sound a bit crackers, but we've learnt over the years, and particularly last year because I did grow quite a lot, there are certain things that I enjoy eating that Chris doesn't, and vice versa, but there are some things that literally either rotted in the beds or got put in the fridge and left and forgotten about. There's absolutely no point growing things if we're not going to eat them. So my plans for 2020 are to grow successionally more of what we will use, and also to improve my storing skills, because historically I've grown, picked and eaten. This is the first year, last year, that I stored onions, and they've stored so successfully. As I say, we're still eating them. But I also want to do more drying and storing in jars, making passatas and getting those into jars. Chris actually really loathes tomatoes as they come off the plant, or raw or even grilled. I mean, I enjoy them and I love them in a salad, but he won't touch them. But he loves tomato sauces and would eat, you know, passata bought. So I plan this year to grow more sort of big plum tasty varieties that I can make into passatas and keep in jars. We're also buying another freezer. My sister's got a freezer that I'm going to buy from her, so we'll have more freezer space to dedicate to storing. So that's my plan. So I've successfully stored my potatoes, my onion this year. I did make some chutney tail end of the year before out of sort of courgettes and bits and pieces, but yeah, my plan is to grow things like beans and peas that I can store, things I can freeze, and things like squash, pumpkin, the onion that can be kept under beds, or as the onions are hanging on the wardrobe in the spare room. So that's pretty much my 2019 gardening year in review. So all that remains now is for me to tag 3 more channels. So the 3 channels I would like to tag are Nick from Nick's Allotment Diary, Stu from Petals on the Paving Slabs, and Kelly from Kelly's Kitchen Garden. So those are 3 really great channels that I enjoy following, but also 3 people that are very much engaged with my channel, with, you know, likes and comments and so on. So I look forward to seeing your 2019 year in review challenge. I hope you're watching. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed this challenge. Again, links below to all the channels that I've mentioned. Here's to a great 2020, lots of growing and lots of harvesting. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.